Hi there, everyone. How you doing? Jeff C. here. It is Sunday, October the 12th, and I wanted to talk just before I get into what I'm going to get into a little bit about the pressure of doing this type of work and the attention that it draws. I'm probably having unprecedented numbers checking out my videos these days. Had quite a few viral ones dealing with the Ebola psyop hoax, as I've been calling it. And that attracts all kinds of attention. And it attracts, obviously, shills. It attracts people who are going to disagree with you on all kinds of things, right? And it's okay to disagree. I'm here to say it's okay to disagree. It's okay to, hey, I want you all to have your own opinion. You're not going to agree on everything I do. And obviously, as I've said many times before, I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. We're only human. I'm very confident that this Ebola is a hoax for the most part. And this is where I want to say, because some people, it's like, are you saying Ebola is a hoax? Like the actual virus is a hoax, Ebola? Well, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I've never seen somebody in person with Ebola. I've seen all the, well, not all of them, but I've seen a lot of the documentaries. They're very convincing, going back to the 70s, seeing the disease, different outbreaks that have happened. It's very convincing stuff for the most part. Except the recent outbreak, I think what I've shown, what Red Pill has shown, what many other people have shown as well, is there's just a whole lot of fakery going on. So when we talk about the New York Times and CNN being caught red-handed using crisis actors, that is a serious charge, say on my part, to charge these networks with that, and I will not back 1 inch from that. I have the proof. I mean, the proof is in front of your eyes. You can see the people crisis acting. You can see the guy in the green shirt flopping around pretending to be sick, and you can see he's clearly not sick. He's very healthy. And his mother's, sitting right beside him with bare feet, they're practically touching, and yeah, it's all bullshit, right? And the other one with the kid who all of a sudden slumps down on the road, pretends to play dead next to the guy that's half naked. It's obvious bullshit that they're pushing, and we've seen this many times before. So yeah, I'm calling it a hoax right across the world. I've already done all the work in Kent, Brantley, Thomas, Eric Duncan, Ted, of course, Nancy Righty Bull, Excalibur the dog. I mean, you could go on and on. So I'm convinced that they are hoaxing this thing by and large. That doesn't mean that real Ebola doesn't exist. I can't say 100% whether it does or not. Just because I watched a documentary here or a documentary there doesn't mean that Ebola exists. Just because it's been in our popular culture for so long doesn't mean it exists. And I don't trust anything off the corporate media. I'm saying it probably does exist, but it doesn't exist in the way that they're showing it right now, essentially. I believe that they are hoaxing this whole thing. And I said this months ago when this all started to come up. I said that my biggest fear was that they would fake a Ebola outbreak in order to force inoculations, force vaccines on everyone. I think that's what we're seeing is being played out. I think that's why we see all these psyops, because they're trying to convince you that Ebola is going to come and get you somehow, some way. And the alternative media has played a big part, because where the corporate media says things like, you don't need to worry, and you can only get it, you can't get it, it's not airborne, stuff like that, the alternative media will say, well, look, we have proof that it is airborne, and we have this report and that report and all this. So it works perfectly to build up this swirling storm. And really, there's only a few of us that stand in the middle trying to keep this thing on the ground and try to really break it down for what it is and show you that they are hoaxing. Now, they've hoaxed so many times before, and because of my experience in breaking down hoaxes, and people could just go back and look at all the hoaxes that I've broken down, from Sandy Hook to the Boston bombing to Richard Dorner to the Navy Yard shooting to the Lax shooting to the beheadings to, there's Cassidy State. It just goes on and on, right? I've done so many of these. I've got so much experience, so I feel like I'm one of the most experienced people out there doing this type of work. So that's where my sort of credentials come into play, calling this thing fake, calling the whole psyop that they're doing out there in the world. But I'm not here to panic people. In fact, I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to say you don't need to panic. You shouldn't listen to what they're doing, and whatever you do, don't get vaccinated. Don't take the vaccination. So when you call these things a hoax and you start getting viral videos, then the corporate media has to respond. Red Pill just did a video on this talking about how, let's see if I show you here. No, that's not the right one, is it? Damage control, this is it. Damage control, media acknowledges Ebola conspiracy theories, Mail Online. So Mail Online put out this video saying, look, going viral from zombies to government plots to miracle cures, the Ebola crisis gives internet conspiracy theorists something to get their teeth into. So, like, they put out this article, it's to deflate, right? It's to, as Red Pill says, damage control, right? They want to cool down all the hoax material that is out there. They want to muddy the waters. They want to tarnish the conspiracy theorists. I know some people like to use the term event skeptics. Maybe that's the term that we should start calling ourselves. I mean, conspiracy theories it's been totally run through the ringer sort of thing and trotted on and everything. So they know how to use that term to very powerful effect to the line drinking sheeple, right? The average person that is out there that reads this shit and actually thinks there's facts in it. There's no facts in Mail Online. It's all bullshit. So I want to take a step further from Red Pill and show you the strategy that they're using. And what they're using is this. See, if you put in a search here in Google for hoax, Ebola hoax, right? Ebola hoax, you get all these articles. Guess what? Ebola hoax causes scare on U.S. Airways flight. Comment prompts Ebola scare flight on flight to from Philadelphia. Video, sneezing airline passenger jokes that he has Ebola and delays flight. Now, probably a lot of you seen the video, right, with the hazmat suits, right, and these guys coming on, putting a whole spectacle. I never did a video of it, and I should have, because it's extreme 100% propaganda bullshit. It's total fucking psyop. This is what they're doing. They're coming on to the plane to sell you the whole story. The person that takes the video is probably part of it. Of course, you do see the green shirt in the video as well, so a black man in a green shirt. All these things are totally by design. They're coming on because allegedly somebody made a joke after they sneezed that he had Ebola, and then they came on. The message is Ebola is very serious, and you have to take it very seriously, right? So that's the kind of stuff that they're doing. So right away, when people look up, type in into their keyboard to see Ebola hoax, that's the stuff that comes up. Another story that'll come up is Michael Essien. Ebola reports are fake, right? So they get a soccer star. Some rumor goes around that a soccer star has Ebola. I don't know how it starts, right? Next thing you know, you got all these different articles coming out talking about how he has a hoax. Here's another one. Ebola hoax at Freeport Middle School sends officials into, right? So there's a hoax there. You see how they've taken the term hoax and they're using it instead of Ebola scare. So, like, all these articles would be Ebola scare, right? Somebody jokes about Ebola. It's an Ebola scare. A hoax, the Ebola hoax is really what we're showing, that all this stuff is staged. But they're trying to control the narrative by putting out all these articles, right? Ebola hoax says nurse condition improves. A man has been arrested after he called health service hotline and claimed to have Ebola, and he just returned, or he claimed that he had just returned from Sierra Leone with symptoms of Ebola. You see how they're doing it? Hoaxer spreads panic after falsely claiming, right? And this is how they do it. They throw out all these stories, the zombie ones, of course, right? And then they are able to say, well, the zombie, first the corporate media, of course, puts out all the zombie stories. Then they put out the stories debunking Ebola zombies, right? And here's another one. Nigerian Ebola hoax results in 2 deaths. 2 people have died, at least 20 are hospitalized, all because of social media prank urging Nigerians to drink, excessive amounts of. Let's see if I can get that. It'll probably start playing all of a sudden. Excessive amounts of salt water to avoid catching Ebola virus. So this thing is a mini hoax in itself, right? It really is, because it's so ridiculous. I mean, the hoax started when with a text message sent by a Nigerian student at the beginning of August, according to Edwin, a development consultant at U2 frontman Bono's One campaign, who lives in Nigeria, Bono, right? Of course he's involved in this, right? So you see how they do it, right? They make these stories, these fake stories, like Michael Essien, like the hazmat suit guys coming on, and of course now this guy with the drink the seawater, and then the people die from drinking the seawater, which is total bullshit. You know, I don't have to waste time on that to know that it's total. Social media, Ebola hoax causes deaths. You see how they do it? Look at the titles that they're using. So people that will look up, say, I heard it's a hoax. This is all the stuff that they'll see. And then they'll be like, oh, it's not a hoax. It's ridiculous. You know, who are these people that are saying it's a hoax, right? Right? Limor Ebola rumors a hoax, right? Here's one story that's a little bit buried, but local health officials say recent rumors circulating about Ebola infecting residents in the community of Limor is a hoax, right? So there is an actual story dealing with people talking about the actual event as being a hoax, right? And this is a lot of people in Africa, a lot of people in Liberia, Monrovia, places like that. You can watch those garbage mind control Vice News videos, and you will see the people that, it's not real, it's bullshit, right? Because what? You think they don't know hundreds of people if you live in a big city like that? You think, they don't know what's up? Do you think they don't see the fake crisis actors? How comes nobody's taking photographs of any of the Ebola victims? Because it's all being staged, right? So again, the Ebola hoax, the bath salt, or the bathing in salt water, and Ebola risen from the dead zombie, a complete hoax. Women allegedly uses Ebola threat, right, against healthcare. So all these little tiny stupid stories that are totally made up, right? Hoax alert, Ebola vaccine only works on white skin. So you see how they've done it, right? They've effectively eliminated our work from the searches, using this whole hoax meme, grabbing the hoax meme. So instead of saying the proper terms, which would be scare or, like as I said, Ebola scare, right? Somebody said something that it's bullshit. A hoax, Ebola hoax means that the Ebola is a hoax itself. That's where we are coming at. That's the angle that we're taking to deal with this, right? And this is how they've taken control of, and just like they've taken control of the term conspiracy theorist, right? And they've taken that term, and we've talked about that many times on Free Radio Revolution. You can go way back where we broke down the definitions and talked about conspiracy theory and how they've changed the definition in order to completely, smear and tarnish these crazy whack jobs with their tinfoil hats. And then they got the pop stars coming out like Weird Al Yankovic to push that meme. So this is what we're up against. This is what I'm trying to show you, how they've tried, as a result of the work that some of us have done, the viral videos that we've had, they're trying to wrestle back the hoax meme. They want to control it so that they can contain people, that people that come on and do a search, instead of finding our videos, will find all these hoax things, which aren't really about the hoax. They're mini hoaxes in themselves. So thank you all for listening. I really appreciate everyone that's been sharing my work and leaving comments everywhere and going on social media. It means so much to me. You guys are all part of Free Radio Revolution. Thank you so much.